As we manage this disease and the dynamic nature of this moment, we need to anticipate spread, but we also need to prioritize our focus. And the purpose of today's announcement is to focus on specifically what we mean by that. Most important thing, again, is to protect the most vulnerable, protect our seniors. In the state of California, we estimate we have 5.3 million Californians that are 65 years or older. Of those 5.3 million 65 years and over, we are prioritizing their safety because of their unique vulnerabilities to this virus. We also are prioritizing those with chronic conditions and prioritizing our homeless. And it's in those three areas that I want to advance some new considerations for the public and new direction for the people of the state of California. We are calling for the home isolation of all seniors in the state of California. We are calling for the home isolation of all of those 65 years and older and those with chronic conditions. We are doing so with our eyes wide open at the magnitude of what that means. And the need to provide wraparound services to support our seniors in need of medical supplies, in need of meals, and the like. Number two, we are directing that all bars, nightclubs, wineries, brewpubs, and the like be closed in the state of California. We believe that this is a non-essential function in our state. And we believe that it's appropriate under the circumstances to move in that direction. As it relates to restaurants, we have more nuanced concerns and considerations. Some have suggested just shutting down all of our restaurants. We don't believe ultimately that is necessary at this moment. Consideration, nonetheless, is to socially distance patrons within these establishments. And as a consequence, we are directing that we reduce the current occupancy within these establishments by half, and we require social distancing within those establishments. We will provide some flexibility in that space, and we could talk more about what that may look like, but in broad strokes, that is the current directive, and we will in real time absorb the capacity to potentially do more, but also try to reflect on the enforcement side of this, which I'm not concerned about, because as you had noted, with all of our directives, we are seeing a socialization in real time and strong and broad support, not only from the public health officials up and down the state, but the private sector that has done a remarkable job meeting this moment. Number three, in relationship to seniors as our top priority in home isolation as it relates to bars and new guidelines on restaurants, I referenced the issue of homelessness. This is a top concern in the state of California in the abstract. We have 108,000 unsheltered homeless individuals in the state of California. We need to meet this moment aggressively. And I can assure you, I mentioned 13 of our task force teams that are residing in this building. They are our teams just working 24/7 on this issue to get people out of encampments and get people into environments where we can address their growing anxiety and our growing concern about the health of some of our most vulnerable Californians out in the streets and sidewalks. We are in real time procuring hotels and motels to convert to appropriate sites. We have just identified as just an example. This is not even close to the magnitude of what we are proposing, but it's just a point of consideration and a proof point to give you a sense of what we're doing. We have additional 450 trailers that we have identified that will be dispersing to critical points across this state, and we're working to address the needs within the shelters so that, again, we have appropriate distancing and we are appropriating ourselves as it relates to social mixing for those vulnerable communities as well. So that's another area of deep and disproportionate emphasis that also we are advancing as a directive.